Look at that
Yeah,
sexy UI.
right. So, guys, real quick, I'm going to walk you through how this works at the moment. Of course, what you got to understand is that everything is still subject to design change and alterations until we reach a final product. But of course, everything that we do here is always going to be in line and aligned with growing the protocol
Shares.
overall. So, first of all, you can see here that we have the GOAT lottery. This is the first part of two in the contract which we're building with King Cos. So,
Yep.
basically, the GOAT lottery is one that will run on a threshold basis. So, what that means is people will be able to buy tickets at a cost of one die each. And basically, once the pot reaches 1,500 die, that is, once there's 1,500 tickets sold, the drawing happens. And so there is 1,000 die that gets split between three random winners who bought tickets, and the other 500 gets sent to the goat pen as goat token. And that's very important for a good reason. I'll tell you why after we just cover the second part here. So yeah, really simple. You just type in as many as you want, or if you only want to buy one, fair enough. You just type it in, you hit buy tickets, and away you go. So
Yep.
there's a little bit more work to do on that part of the UI, but it's pretty well getting there. You can see sort of how it works.
Yep.
And then we have the second part of the contract here called the Mega Jackpot. Now, a lot of our community members in planning stages, they actually expressed interest in having somewhat of like a Powerball type thing going on. So we've designed a system where people will be able to pick five numbers and then they enter the jackpot. So picking five numbers and entering this mega jackpot here costs 3 die per guess. And if you want to pick your own numbers, that's great. But if you don't want to pick your own numbers, then you can click this random numbers button here, and the UI will generate random numbers for you between 1 and 20. So you put your numbers,
Yep.
you hit enter jackpot, and away you go. If you guess the right numbers when it's drawn, then basically you win the jackpot, whatever that happens to build up to be. Of course, there is a portion of every goat lottery round that feeds into this jackpot here as well. So every round that passes through this lottery here, the jackpot gets even bigger, creating more incentive for people to keep playing more and more rounds. We'll have a
Yep.
mechanism here as well, which shows recent winners of the lottery and the jackpot. So, of course, that's bragging rights up there. You get your wallet address and how much you won up there.
Yep.
And then, of course, at the bottom of the page, too, we'll have overall stats of the lottery and jackpot contracts as well. So you'll be able to see things like what's the largest the jackpot ever got up to, the most recent winner, the first and last four of their address, how much has totally been
That's
paid
cool.
out by the program, how much has ever been put in, and how many rounds have passed through as well. So these are all stats coming from elsewhere in the page. Keep in mind, this is not a live contract at the moment. It's all filler data. But
Yep.
that's basically the lottery contract in its
That's
current
cool.
design. So let's move on to the validator NFT page, which I'm sure a lot
Yes.
of you are very
If
excited about as well.
Vets in Crypto says, I believe many are tuning in for the juicy details. I'll bet you
Yeah,
are.
yeah. All right, excellent. I'm glad you
So,
guys are here. Welcome everybody.
all right.
Shout out to David Fido. Very
Yeah.
appreciative of the support he's delivering to this ambitious project of ours. So
Yep.
basically, the Validator NFTs is going to be a series run in collaboration with David Feeder, with Sidekick Finance and their platform Jumpstart, and of course with ourselves, the Jump Protocol. The idea is that we will have rounds of 64 NFTs, batches of 64, that is. So each NFT is priced in at 500,000 pulse each. And basically, once we gather 32 million pulse from the NFTs being minted, that's another stake in a validator that we can get running, which obviously produces rewards. Now, of course, the rewards and the rate of which is definitely subject to things like network volume, how many transactions are in a day, whether we get selected for an epoch cycle, and other things like that. But of course, the more NFTs that are sold, the more validator stakes we can get rolling. And of course, then the more those rewards start to come in. So,
Yep.
basically, you guys, when you mint the NFTs, you're likely to be getting an NFT with one of these wonderful goat images that have been generated by the AI from our community. We're going to put those on the NFTs, so you get one of those at random. And you can have as many NFTs as you want. There's no limit to it. You can mint as many as you like. Obviously, the more NFTs you have, the bigger the cut of all the revenue which you're going to get from the validators when it pushes in. Current distribution plan is that basically when the rewards do come in from the validator, we intend to split it. Look at that. David's messaging me right now. How about that?
That's awesome.
So,
what's up, David?
yeah, basically, the split will be at this stage. It's 80% of all the validator rewards will go into a distro contract for the NFT holders to claim. Obviously, that's your rewards, and that's on a perpetual basis, so long as the stakes keep on running and keep on being created. If there's any downtime, obviously, then there's downtime. But with the legendary feat that is David Feeder, I don't think we're going to be facing much of that at all, if any.
Right.
So with that in mind, the other 20% is broken as follows. So 15% of that gets sent as GOAT token, again, to the GOAT pen. And I'll explain why that's so significant in just a second. Like I said, there's a point in the lottery where that's important too. So the other 5 is broken. We're going to send 1% to David Feeder as, just like a, thanks, dude. Here's a contribution. Here's for, helping out the costs and everything. We're going to send 1% to King Cos for his contributions in engineering the NFTs and that aspect of everything. Then I think we're going to put a portion aside as well so we can start building up somewhat of like a expenditure treasury for marketing or promos or whatever it is that we need to do, so that way we can obviously put a little money behind expanding the voice and volume and reach of Degen protocol for everyone. So like I said, there's no real limit to the rewards, only it's subject to the rates that the network produces. I do understand that the validator NFTs do have a variable APR or APY or whatever, but of course, it is always going to be that split relative to however much comes in. Whatever comes in is split to that breakdown that I mentioned before, and it'll just be on continuous deliverance to the NFT holders. So we're very excited about this because what it means is that you don't need to cough up 32 million pulse to get your own stake going, and you certainly don't need to be running your own hardware to be contributing to keeping the greatest decentralized network of all time up and running and further decentralized. So, it ties 3 great projects together. It supports our favorite chain. I think we're very ready for something like this.